Hello and welcome to AIG Community's Unfiltered Conversations. This is a new vertical and we aim to break down the barriers. This is a platform to learn, to be inspired, to grow together, to celebrate the diversities of our richness, of our collective experiences that we have through the journey called life. This is a place where the stories will come to life. We'll have a lot of conversations with many interesting individuals. Today, our topic is mindset magnified. This is all about unleashing the potential within us, and it is more about tapping into the power of our thoughts to create lasting changes. To share more insights on this, we have Bimal Raj. He is a multi-award winning mindset coach, okay, and a mentor, executive coach. He have famed 17-year career in the Indian Navy, rising to commander, of course, characterized by leadership and discipline. Internationally recognized internationally recognized as an executive power coach, an NLP practitioner, ultimate leadership camp certified expert as well. Okay, too many things on his that. Plus, he has written a book which is named as What's Next. So we'll be sharing the link of that book as well in the wall copy post. Do check it out. So let's welcome Bimal. Hey Bimal, so good to see you.
Hi, Devisha. Thank you so much for this. Really appreciate you inviting me to this show. And from the format and the explanation that you've given, I think it is going to be an absolutely amazing one because a lot of people give gyan, but unfiltered conversations regarding life, you don't get to listen to too many. So I'm so glad that you've started this initiative.
Thank you so much. I'm inspired by people like you. And I didn't want it to have that regular kind of thing, as you know, as we discussed. So, Bimal, share a glimpse of, what led you down to this path of mindset coaching, which is a very interesting thing happening nowadays. People are very much confused. Lot many things have been, guided, misguided. So, throw some light on it.
Okay, I can say I didn't have an option. In one
Mm-hmm.
way, I had too many setbacks in life, too many challenges in
Mm-hmm.
life where I had to restart life from scratch. Uh,
Okay.
so the first time it happened, I was very young. I was in the Navy, and I was not into the field of personal development at all. So I didn't know there was a different perspective, and I didn't have any mentors to guide me and say that Bimal, look at it this way. I had to figure it out all out myself, and it was very tough. It was really bad.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow I made it through, and the next time it happened, I obviously went through that spiral down, like we all do when something major goes wrong in our lives. But then at one point, in between that wallowing and self blame, I suddenly had the spark that okay, something similar had happened last time also, completely different context, but something I had come down like this earlier also, but it turned out better. So I had a reference point. So I decided, okay, why not, see, try and get out of this also. Okay, so I, from a defeatist mindset, I changed into let me try and let me try and see what happens. And that
Hmm.
happened and it worked out well. The third time it happened, I was more prepared. I think it's more like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the better, the stronger it gets. And over a period of time, I realized that there can be a method, there can be a process through which you can't learn to get out of situations if you want to. See, if you see, there are two types of people. One
Hmm.
is people who are into some really bad state due to something beyond them, but they want to get out. They don't want to be in that
Right.
space, they want to get out, and that
Hmm.
they can be helped. So there are other people who prefers to stay there. For some people stay there for years. You can't do anything for them. So
True.
I realized that for those people, like when it happened the first time for me, if I had what I have now, or
Mm-hmm.
somebody like me, I'm that's such a big blessing. That's when I realized that there could be people. I mean, I may have become a veteran of going through situations and coming out of it. But there are a lot of people who are stuck and they want to come out, and that's when I decided it's all between the 2 years. And
Hmm.
if I
Hmm.
can help people, see a different perspective, tell them what I went through, and it's possible for them also, because I truly believe that everybody is capable of incredible transformation. So that's how I came into this space.
Wow. That's quite inspiring. I mean, like, watching people like you and me, कभी कभी लोगों को लगता है अरे लाइफ डिफिकल्ट है ही नहीं, लाइफ बहुत सिंपल है इन लोगों के
I,
लिए. The things just come, like, they are just so powerful, or probably their mindset is so strong, but deep inside we know how, you know how
oh yeah,
how we are going through, how we are venting out the things situation.
true, true,
And you very rightly said, we can help only those who are willing to help themselves. Very important point.
absolutely,
So, can you
absolutely.
share few principles of this mindset magnification that you have discovered through your journey?
Mindset magnification that I've discovered through my so one thing is that like I mentioned just now, that it's like a muscle. If you're willing to
Mhm.
exercise it even little bit, na, it'll get into the habit. It's like a habit. Your
Mhm.
mindset is basically what, see, it is let me put it this way. If let's say you're sitting in a house, your
Mhm.
house newly built and a pristinely clean, and you have a beautiful white carpet in front, snow white fluffy carpet, and you're sitting there, and your neighbor comes in with a bag of kachra and he dumps it on it. What do? Do you just
Mhm.
sit and continue to have your chai and have a conversation with them? And hey, what wonderful kachra! My God, where did
Yes,
you get it from? Would you be livid and
I can
throw him out and the kachra out? Okay,
obviously.
so yeah, obviously, right? So the fact is that this happens in our minds on a daily basis.
Mhm.
Okay,
True.
and if you train your mind to keep throwing away the kachra as and when it comes, no, your mind will remain clean. It'll remain healthy. It'll remain positive. You can do a
Mhm.
lot when your mind is full of positivity, and you are thinking in the right
Okay,
direction.
I guess
And
there
there
is
are
some
people who
buffering from our end. So he'll be back, I guess, in a second or two. Mm, it's buffering, buffering.
still,
It's
it's
buffering.
clear.
Can you repeat the statement that was buffering?
What did I say? Did
It's it's
I
it's a muscle that we need to work on continuously.
Yeah,
That
you,
that's
you need to work on. See, it's like I said, it's a muscle. The more you learn and exercise to clean
mm,
your
mm,
mind from all the
mm.
kachra that people keep throwing at you, your mind will be healthy, and it will lead to the right decision, the right life path. And there are
Correct.
people who are very happy with all the kachra, and they dwell in it, and they play with it.
And they spread it
Okay, so
also.
what do you? Yeah, and obviously they will spread it to others also. All right. So, what do you think is going to happen? Okay, think of your mind as a house, and that's how it works. All right. And I will tell you one simple thing. The difference that you can apply from today. I mean, this is universal. You would have heard it 1,000 times, but we don't never do it. The simple
Mm.
thing between what is in your control and what's not in your control. One simple thing, if you implement, it'll make a big difference. All right. Most of the time, what happens is that we are frustrated because we focus on all the things that are not in our control, and we worry about it and stress and fume about it. But we do nothing about the things that are actually in our control. Okay. And it's human nature by default. I'll tell you a simple example. I mean, if you're stuck in traffic,
Mm.
you'll hear people honking and giving galis, and it's not going to make you reach faster. You're stuck,
Mm. Mm.
nothing you can do about it. But how you spend your time over there is completely up to you. Listen to music, listen to
Correct.
my podcast, listen to any podcast, call your friend who's not had have a fun chat with somebody. There's a whole lot of things that you can do. So it is just about this. There's a beautiful prayer. I don't remember the exact words. It is, Lord, grant me the strength to work on the things that I have control of, and don't worry about not to worry about the things which I have no control of, and also grant me the wisdom to differentiate between the two. And that last part is very important.
That's very important.
So look at what is in your control and put your efforts into it, and you'll see a big change in your life. Trust me.
Wow, that's so important. Like, you need to identify this thing and make it as your
Yeah.
wisdom. So, is it really important to declutter our mind, de-learn the things that is already existing? Like, as we declutter our home, because we are giving that example relevance to our mind as well.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. There's too much information today. It's an overload of information out there, and you need to
True.
figure out what is really relevant and important for you, and what is not relevant and not important for you. You don't have to fret and fume about things that are not important for you. Okay, at this point in time, and so yes, decluttering is very important. Prioritize stuff,
Hmm.
understand what's important for you. Where are you going in life? Are you living life intentionally, or are you living life by default nature?
I know.
So if you are living by default, you have no clue of where you're going to reach 5 years from now,
True.
because the
True.
next 5 years will come, no, any whether you do want it or not, whether you don't want it or not. So where you reach after 5 years depends on what decision you take today. Whether you
Hmm.
decide and live intentionally, then you will reach a desired destination.
Design.
And if you just go with the flow with the masses, then you will reach a default destination. The choice is completely up to you.
Correct. It's all about choices that we make.
Yeah, totally.
We also hear about this limiting belief. So can you share a example of it, a common example, and how to break that limiting belief?
Okay, well, one very, very common limiting belief that everybody has is that I'm not good enough. Okay, that's
Agreed.
something very strong. Yeah, I mean, you feel that I need to know a little more, irrespective of despite what level you reach. I have my mentor Blair Singer, and he's called a magician because he is the most amazing trainer you'll ever find in the world, and the biggest trainers in the world have been trained by him at some point or another. He's the he's
Hmm.
somebody I aspire to be with respect to integrity, his passion, his commitment to training, everything. But he also
Mm-hmm.
says sometimes I feel that I'm a fake. Blair Singer says. Then I was like, oh, okay, that means it
इसको भी
happens
होता
to
है.
इसको भी होता है तो मतलब सबको होता है मतलब
सबको होता है.
and we once had a training where the room was full of 500 trainers of various different levels. Okay, and
Mhm.
trainers are the people who are imparting wisdom, empowering people, teaching others, and stuff like that. And there was a poll conducted, and we are talking about self belief. What is your biggest fear? Okay, it was not public speaking or anything. The biggest fear was that I'm not good enough. Okay, so see, it works both ways. In one of the podcast, the first podcast I did, the first episode was how to make self belief, self doubt work for you. Okay, it's a very interesting
Hmm.
podcast. If you get a chance,
Interesting.
listen to it. It's called Awkward Talk.
Interesting.
Now, um, it works both ways if you know how to handle it. One is when you doubt yourself, you put in more hard work. Okay, you're not
True.
overconfident. I do that. When if I'm going in front of professionals, I put in double the amount of work, and I make sure that I give over deliver in value, whether I'm coaching, whether I'm doing anything else.
Hmm.
I take my stuff very seriously. Okay, that in that way it is good, but so certain amount of self-doubt is common with everyone, but don't let it overpower you. Don't let it crush you. One of the things that helped me big time, because as a trainer, it's applicable whether you are a trainer, whether you are a coach, whether you are an entrepreneur, could be a teacher,
Mhm.
anyone. Okay, so one of another my trainer, head trainer, told me, Bimal, why are you so much in your head? I was constantly thinking, am I doing it right? Am I delivering proper? Am I good enough types?
Mhm.
Why are you giving so much importance to yourself? It is not about you, it's about them.
True.
Okay. So it was like a revelation to me. Oh, it's not about me, it's about them. So I only have to focus on them and what they require. And then I don't have to be so conscious about what I'm doing. You
Exactly.
understand what I'm saying? So it is like my wife, Pallavi, she does goes on communication. She keeps giving this example. Okay, take a lamp, show it on your face, and then you just turn it away and
Hmm.
shine the lamp on your audience and say, it's not about me, it's about them.
Yeah.
So the moment that happened, no, the whole game changed. And second, one more thing I want to share, that there were certain things that as a trainer I had to do, which I would never do in my life. Okay, in a lot of training is a lot of theatrics, and it's a performance. And there were certain
Okay.
performance that I had to do, which I would never, even now, I would never do in my life. But then again, my trainer told me, see, if you stop yourself because you're uncomfortable, you're doing a disservice to your students. Because if
Correct.
you play at 100%, they might play at 20. But if you're
True.
going to play at 20%, they will never even get out of their comfort zones.
Get out of the
And that
comfort
was a
zones.
big learning for me. So remember, it is not about you, first thing. It's all about them, your students, your customers. It's all about them. Second, if you're not willing to do something, push yourself to do. Again, it is, if you don't give your 100%, then you are doing a disservice to your people.
True.
Remember that.
True. That's
I
so
talk a lot.
wisely and was no, no. That's actually much needed because that this is all unfiltered conversations is all about.
Yeah, I know. I've had to
We
think.
don't want filtrations. We want the actual life experiences.
Hey, knowing you, Devisha, you're such a dynamic powerhouse of a woman. It's easy to have these conversations with you.
Thank you. And it's so good, so well we connected. We stayed in touch, and see
Yes,
today
true, very
from
true.
where even I started from like nowhere, and today I am at some stage, with
Yeah,
all my ups and downs, as you rightly said, making our choices, swallowing our pain in our pain, getting out of it, bouncing back to life. That's what it is.
absolutely
Because we live in a world which is filled of distractions, negativity, with a lot many
true.
things happening on a political scale, personal scale. So do you have any
Everywhere.
practical tips that you can recommend to our viewers for maintaining a healthy and a growth oriented mindset, how to stay more focused?
Um, See, remember that what you expect, you mostly get what you expect. So there are these
True.
doomsday predictors. They say that the world is going to dogs.
Hmm.
That's all your perspective. There are three belief systems. One is the belief system about you. That is where you
Hmm.
need to work on first. What do
Right.
you think about yourself? Are you good enough? That's the first thing you got to. Second is belief about other people. I don't know if you noticed that uh, two different people may say the same thing, and it will affect you differently. If you
True.
don't like that person, no, whatever that person says, you will reject it subconsciously. Okay, because
Agree.
you have that perception, that belief about that other person. But if you like a person, whatever he or she says, you will accept it. So that is your belief about the other person. The third is the belief about the world. Yes, there is a lot of things happening. Environment is getting affected. A lot of stuff is the ice is melting. There's a lot of things happening. I'm not saying everything is perfect, but
Right.
you must also, if you resign to the fact that the world has gone to dogs, and who's going to do anything at all? Who's even going to share that positivity, spread that positivity for some other people to take action? Now you will see that whenever, that's something that my mentor Blair Singer keeps saying, that emergency, when there is emergency, there is also emergence. Emergence
Correct.
happens when there is emergency. So when there is
Hmm.
some kind of emergency, something comes up. So whether it is the whole world shifting to solar, yeah, maybe going forward there'll be something wrong there also. Then people will keep coming up with something, because at the end of the day, it is about the survival of the race, survival
Correct.
of the humankind, and there will be people who will come up with things. So don't contribute to the destruction that is happening. That is something that we can all do. Like
Really
we say,
important.
no, if all of us can keep 1 square meter around us clean, The
Hmm.
world will be so clean if we just
Obviously.
ensure
Makes
that.
sense.
Yes or no? So we have that positive outlook. Don't get sucked into negativity. Don't get sucked
True.
into. I mean, when you look at news, no, there's nothing like authentic news. I mean, that's something that
Ah,
I know for a fact. It is what they
agree.
want you to see. They want you to read. It's all about managing perception. Okay, so
True.
don't just go blindly by uh, uh, any kind of hatred, any biases towards
Hmm.
any person or a thing based on what race they are in, what religion they are in, what where they come from. Nothing. Just if you can have a basic respect for life and human beings in general, that's a great place to start. Okay,
True.
and if you can respect other people for who they are, I mean that will take care of a lot of things in the world. So being positive, having the right mindset is also about seeing other people as an equal. Doesn't matter what strata they belong to or what job they are doing. Give that respect. uh,
Correct.
you will automatically find that things are moving in the right direction.
That's so true. That's so true. So this mindset, often involves adapting to change and embracing new perspectives. So can you share example of your own life where a shift has happened and there is a personal or a professional transformation? There must be something that you can
Profession,
share with us.
yeah, professional transformation was what I had mentioned earlier about, it's not about
Hmm. Hmm.
me, it's about them. That was a complete change in mindset. I was completely looking
Hmm.
at me, and suddenly it said, oh, it's about them. So then I was more worried about how much more can I serve them, how much more I can help them. It was not about how good
Right.
I'm looking and how good my throw voice is and all that kind of stuff. Another thing that happened was about I have an artificial hip, okay, because of an accident that I'd went through.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for many decades, I couldn't run. Artificial hip has its own limitations. So I could
Mm-hmm.
move around, but running was a big no. But then when I went to, so again, one of the trainings with Blair Singer, that was at Arizona
Mm-hmm.
in the US. And there he has a coach, health coach. Okay. And he is somebody who trained us as well during that time. And he was somebody who used to train athletes for super performance and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a taekwondo master and everything. And he had both hip replaced. And I was like, oops, what's my excuse? And from then on, even now, I run at least 2-3 kilometers, at least few times a week. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we tend to hold on to our limitations, thinking that that is it, yahi hai. But there's
Correct.
a whole world out there who are doing things despite our so-called limitations, and
True.
we need to keep our eyes and ears open and find out about those people so that we can move forward. The first is the desire to move forward, like I always
Hmm.
say, and then you just need to find examples that you can follow, and you'll be on your way. So
Awesome.
these are a couple of things that made a big difference for me.
And and what difference your new book is getting in for us? Tell us something about your new book.
Oh, that my book is, I'm not a writer, first of all right. Uh, it is just that, like I mentioned earlier, at some point I realized that I've had so much of experience, so I might be able to help people do
Hmm.
that, get out of challenges and stuff like that. And the challenges that I've gone through are very common ones.
Hmm.
It is not some unique one, things that happens once only for few people. This is something that a lot of people go through. So that it is basically 5 or 6 incidents in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and I've my learnings from it, and towards the end, I wanted to give a logical, step-by-step method of how you can get out of any difficult situation, any challenge, despite how bad it is. You can get out of it, and you will be able to move forward. Okay, if you follow those steps, that's called the first section is what next mindset,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then the what next method. So I
Method.
even I tell people that if you have not reached a point where you want to move ahead, don't proceed further, because the method will not do anything for you. Now this But it is not a hardcore self-help book.
Mm-hmm.
I've written about my life. I've not attended any book writing workshop or anything like that. It's straight from the heart,
Oh,
so
that's
I think,
unfiltered. That's
huh?
also unfiltered.
That's completely unfiltered. There have been places where there are a lot of vulnerabilities that I explain, and I realized
Mhm.
that when I was writing, I broke down, because it was hard. I
It
went
was
back to that space, and I realized that I still have a lot of emotions about that. And yes, it's an unfiltered. It's a good word, unfiltered story of my life,
story of your
about
life.
what I've been through. Yeah,
So wow,
buy
yeah,
it. It's
that's
nice.
beautiful. Unfiltered conversations, unfiltered thoughts of your life
Yes,
into a book. What next? I saw the trailer as well. That was really promising,
thank you,
and I'm
thank you so
excited.
much.
It is launched on Saturday, I guess, on 9th of September.
Yes, Saturday, Friday. Saturday. No, when was
9th
when was
September. Matlab, it's already
Janmashtami?
launched,
No,
I
no.
guess.
It actually when got listed on 6th, on the eve of
Okay.
Janmashtami. Uh,
Oh, that's great. And so it's
yeah, yeah,
already
yeah, yeah.
up, right? So we'll be putting the book link in the
Oh,
comments also,
fantastic.
so
Yes.
our viewers can go ahead and grab the copies of it. So any last advice, closing advice for our viewers on Mindset Magnified?
On mindset, see, like I said, your the quality of your life will depend on the quality of the questions that you ask yourself.
True.
I first heard it from Anthony Robbins, and it's so true. And to ask good quality questions, you need to have a positive mindset.
Mindset.
And
Okay.
to have a positive mindset, you should have a positive outlook towards life.
Mm-hmm.
If you think life is great, life will be great. Irrespective, I'm not saying that there will be no challenges and you will not
Mm-hmm.
have any
Mm-hmm.
red light or anything. There will be a lot of challenges, but it is a choice. We say happiness is a choice. Similarly, your positive state of mind is a choice. You can, choose. When you choose, I want to share just one small incident. Okay, is
Mm-hmm.
it okay?
Yeah, of
So
course.
yeah, I was posted in Bombay, and I got posted to Delhi. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'd never been to Delhi. And a lot of people had a lot of mixed reactions about Delhi, especially people from Mumbai, saying that Delhi is very hot, the climate is very bad, the people are very rash, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things. But then I made a decision. I had not gone to Delhi. I took a decision that I love Delhi.
Correct.
Okay. I love Delhi, man. And when I landed in Delhi, since I'd already decided that I love Delhi, I could see the wide roads, I could see so many gardens, I could experience the fact that I could drive my vehicle at fourth gear from Mumbai.
Wow.
Now when you go Mumbai, mein fourth gear, matlab, I don't know if it is
Man.
even possible these days.
No.
Okay,
A
so
few
I
years
could see.
earlier, I would just break down. A few years earlier, I made a post on social media stating, I was sharing that gear picture, like मैं थर्ड और फोर्थ गियर बेच रही हूँ मुंबई में, किसी को चाहिए तो ले लो. So no use of having third and fourth gears.
So that's so well put. So because I had decided that I love Delhi,
Hmm.
I started seeing things that made me fall in love with Delhi. Now, if
Wow.
I have a friend who went to Delhi. She went with the intention that I hate Delhi, and her life was miserable for 6 months. because since she already hated Delhi, she
Already,
started
yeah.
seeing things. Yeah,
So it's like
So love
magnet,
your
right? So whatever you put in,
absolutely.
you attract that.
Yeah, you what you expect turns up.
True.
Okay, so expect life to be beautiful despite your challenges, despite your setbacks. Uh, Embrace it. Embrace your life with all positivity, all kinds of joy in your heart, with all its sham and all its ups and downs. Life is still beautiful.
True.
Okay, and when you need help, reach out to someone,
Reach
and
out to the
don't
right person.
wallow in grief, don't wallow in self pity and negativity. Just reach out to
True.
people and get out of it. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, communicate, go ahead, talk. There are people who
Yes.
are ready to help you. We are here to serve you,
Yes.
listen to your problems, come up with
True.
solutions. True.
Yeah.
So we have lot many things that we can, keep discussing and keep talking about. So we will definitely come back with Bimal and more other interesting people. Stay tuned. Till then, see you next time.
See you. Thank you so much, Devisha, once
Thank you
more for
so much,
this
Bimal.
opportunity.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.